difficult to look at some of the images and imagine that any...
The Pentagon's John Kirby shows the strain, describing what he calls President Putin's brutality and cruelty as deaths mount in Ukraine.
The mother of a British humanitarian volunteer who's thought to have been captured by Russian forces in Ukraine has pleaded for him to be released.
Paul Urey went missing along with fellow Briton Dylan Healy after they tried to rescue a family from a village near the city of Zaporizhia. Tim Muffet has the latest developments.
Dylan Healy and Paul Urey in Ukraine to provide humanitarian assistance, but now captured by the Russian military, according to a British aid organisation. It's thought they were stopped at a checkpoint as they tried to help a mother and her children leave a village near Zaporizhia. At her home near Preston, Paul Urey's mother explained why, against her wishes, her son had decided to go to Ukraine.
He said, I can't sit there, Mum, and watch people dying because they're hungry, they're scared. He said, I've seen people where they're ducking every time there's a noise. He said, I can't live with myself. I said, but what about me? What about your family?
Paul Urey is in his mid-40s and diabetic. His mum had this message for whoever is holding him.
Please give him back. He's a family man. He's my carer. He helps me. And he's been gone 2 weeks now. And a week they've had him. And I miss him. I can't cope with it. I've not ate. I can't sleep.
Dylan Healy was driving the car at the time of the men's capture, according to a British aid organisation. He is described as a trained chef, originally from Huntingdon in Cambridgeshire. In the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, the clearing up after Russian missile strikes continues, one of which killed a Ukrainian journalist working for the American broadcaster Radio Liberty. In Mariupol, the besieged port city, explosions can still be heard. Much of the fighting here has stopped, but there are vivid reminders of how intense it was. In Virginia, an emotional US Defense Department spokesman accused Vladimir Putin of brutality and depravity.
It's difficult to look at the... It's difficult to look at some of the images and imagine that any well-thinking, serious, mature leader would do that. So I can't talk to his psychology, but I think we can all speak to his depravity.
For 91 Ukrainian refugees, a new beginning. In the village of Hartley, near Dartford in Kent, host families met the people who'll be sharing their homes. Nadia says her son was so traumatised by the war, he would hide in a wardrobe. She knew they had to try and leave the country.
Some of luggage, documents, and we were quickly running, very quickly, because it was terrible.
They feel very far away from home now, and ultimately all of these people, they just want to be at home.
A warm welcome to a new, unfamiliar country, where a new chapter awaits. Tim Muffet, BBC News.
Let's talk to our correspondent in Kyiv, Joe Inwood, now this morning. Morning, Joe. You know, if we go back to the politics of what's happening with Ukraine, of course, we had the Secretary-General of the UN visit Ukraine this week and Russia and meet with President Putin. President Zelensky, despite everything, despite the tragedy that we're seeing in Ukraine, says he is still willing to hold peace talks.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something he said throughout this. He would still like to talk to President Putin, to meet him face to face. But the question we have to ask ourselves is, at this point, what could those talks achieve? Now, diplomatic solutions can be found when two sides could find some common ground, some consensus. in their positions as what they would find acceptable from those negotiations. But here with the Russians, they essentially want to take a large part of Ukraine's territory. The Ukrainians don't just want that not to happen, they in fact say they want to get back territory they lost in 2014. So as it stands, there's going to be no landing ground between the two sides. The other time a diplomatic solution or talks would work is when one side has a massive and overwhelming military advantage. The other side essentially knows its time is up and it's lost. Given the forces that Russia already has, given the support the Ukrainians are getting from NATO, well, we're not there yet. Basically, both sides still think they've got a chance on the battlefield, and neither side will accept the other's conditions. And so we can have talk of a diplomatic solution, but I don't think one is going to be coming out bringing the outbreak of peace anytime soon.
No, I think your instincts are correct there, Joe. Thanks very much, Joe Winwood, for us.